Welcome to Gas and Go Radio, the podcast for everything NASCAR. Let's hit the track.
Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing well. This is Dave with episode 2 of season 2 of Gas and Go Radio, your source for NASCAR news from NASCAR fans. Unscripted, just got a few headlines down below, so let's kind of jump into where we are. We know we had the clash this week at Bowman Gray Stadium. It was postponed not once, but twice, due to snow. How often do you see snow at a racetrack? And to make it even better, the snow was impacting the race at the end. We had snowflakes and sleet falling from the sky. We had to put on the rain tires. We had water coming in from behind the fence where snow was stacked. But the winner was Ryan Preece. Finally got that win. It was an emotional win for Ryan in the RFK number 64. And I was glad to see Ryan get that win. Best clash I've seen in a while without it going to Daytona. I was not a fan of where we were in California at the Coliseum. Last year was kind of This year it seems like maybe drivers had figured it out. It was still a little bit of a bump and run and a little bit of drive-through, but what can you expect from a racetrack on college grounds that is built around a football field? Yes, folks, NASCAR has raced around the football field. We've done it twice now. Ryan Preece is the victor, gets the first win of the season. It was a little bit emotional for me. I'm going to throw this in there. As many of you know, my father passed away in November. Racing was what he and I did together. We went to see races. He would always take time to sit down and watch races, no matter what, no matter how he felt. You know, he was in the hospital. We could get that race turned on TV and we'd get a little bit of a emotion out of him after he had a stroke in July, and it was something he really enjoyed. He was a huge fan of the 21 car. It was not necessarily about the driver. He just loved the 21 car, the Wood Brothers Ford. Little bit of emotion for me this week when the clash came on, and one of the first shots on the opening TV roll was of the 21, and it certainly was emotional when the first time the cars hit the track for the qualifying race, the 21 driven by Josh Berry won that race. That was emotional for me, and next Sunday will certainly be a little bit emotional for me because it will be the first time that I can recall in my lifetime that my father and I will not be watching the start of the NASCAR season, the Daytona 500, together. As you can see, that's very emotional for me. So before I get all caught up in this negative emotion, let's kind of jump into some positives here. We've got some racing this week, or this upcoming week. We've got Thursday, February 12th, the Daytona duels. They start at 7, with duel number 2 being at 8:45. That is Thursday, February 12th. So you can get those duels in before Valentine's Day. You see where I'm taking you here. That will determine the starting lineup for the Daytona 500. Then Saturday, we have the practice sessions for the Daytona 500. You've got multiple practice seasons throughout the day. You can watch those on Fox and FS1. And then Sunday, we have the big race, the Daytona 500, at 2:30 on Fox. Now, I realized there that I did not mention the Truck Series, the Craftsman Truck Series, and the new named O'Reilly Series. The Truck Series is Friday night. That would be February 13th. I believe that's around 7 o'clock. And then Saturday, the O'Reilly Series is at 5 o'clock. So you're going to get some of that Saturday race in the light, some of it in the darkness. So that will be an interesting transition to see how cars, drivers, and setups handle that situation. Now let's jump kind of back into some headlines here to see what we've got to talk about this week and see what we can do to come up with something interesting. First headline is William Byron is one of 5 drivers, one of only 5, that has won a Daytona 500 back to back. Can he be one of the elite club members and be a 3-time winner this year? Now remember, that win is only going to be points for him this year. It's only points. It's not a win in your in system. We've gone back to the chase where we're going to take the top 16 drivers in points. So we're not in a win in your in situation. We need to kind of try to remember that, myself included. Throughout the year, we talked about Ryan Preece's big win at Bowman Gray, and he was off very quickly to New Smyrna short track racer. He is competing in the open wheel modified series at New Smyrna. I do believe, the World Series of Asphalt, the old school racer. Yes, looks like he's competing in the open wheel at New Smyrna. So, another one, NASCAR has prevented the arrow change by the drivers. The drivers would stick their hand out the window to try to change the aerodynamics in the race car. NASCAR has said, do that no more. So that takes away from drivers' creativity. Corey Heim, the big truck star, won a lot of races last year in the truck series. We'll be getting a 12 Cup race schedule with 2311. Let's see if it mentions any races that he will run. It's part of his development plan. He's been a monster in the truck series and in the Xfinity series, which is now the O'Reilly series. He does not tear up equipment, and I'm not going to be shocked if he performs well in the Cup series and is full-time in Cup next year. Just a quick headline, Kyle Busch says he does not want to go back to the old chase format because, of course, Kyle Busch stirred the pot again because, of course, he did. He said NASCAR shouldn't go back to the old chase because we moved away from it for a reason. And honestly, he's not wrong. The chase had its moments, but it also had some weird championship math. Busch basically said, the current system works. Don't mess with it. Coming from a guy who has been through every version of the championship format. Maybe Kyle's not wrong there. Brad Keselowski broke his leg in an accident during a skiing trip over the winter. Brad Keselowski admits he does not currently hold a NASCAR license. But don't worry, he's getting that taken care of and passing the NASCAR test and the NASCAR evaluation after breaking his leg, and hopes to be ready this week for the Daytona 500. Kevin Harvick is kind of doing the retired athlete thing. Is kind of teasing that he may jump back into a truck this year, get in a truck race under his belt, just to kind of scratch that itch a little bit, because as we know, Tony Stewart is doing the same this year in a truck race. I believe he's running Daytona. So we'll have to wait and see if Kevin Harvick decides to do a one-off. Don't be surprised if the number 4 fires up again. Let's see, we've got the documentary of We Lost Dale Earnhardt. It is a new documentary 25 years later. We have lost Dale Earnhardt 25 years later. NASCAR Studios and Fox Sports are teaming up for a new documentary for 25 years since Dale Earnhardt's passing. This one's going to hit hard for old race fans and kind of educate new race fans. Dale's death changed everything: safety, culture, and the way NASCAR thinks about risk. So I can't wait to see that. Kind of going to be a little bit of a sad moment for me. But for now, that's it. That's just a quick rundown, a little bit shaky, I know, of NASCAR news for the week. Looking forward to the Daytona 500. Make sure you stick around from the drama to the rulebook tweaks and surprise comebacks this year. I think we're going to have some good stuff this year. Ready to see some new winners, ready to see some drivers succeed that maybe didn't get success over the last few years that they were looking for. But that's the checkered flag. We are out for Gas and Go Radio. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you enjoy the qualifying races, the O'Reilly race, and the truck race, and of course the Daytona 500 next Sunday. The 2026 NASCAR season is here. Look for this podcast to resume next Monday, assuming we have no rainouts and we don't get postponed. Who is your pick for the race? Let us know. We will see you next week. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the race.